Victor's still not here, yo. What the hell? I'm going to lose my voice doing that shit. But we are back. Welcome to Two Dudes and a Mexican. I'm your host, Peter Soprano. To my left is the resident Mexican.
Órale, mi gente.
And to my right is the fill-in for the usual host.
What's good, people?
D-Money Drizzy Dre.
We're thinking about changing the show's name today from One Dude and a Mexican and a Colombian, but our producer said that it would confuse everybody.
Yeah, so we didn't want to do that. But with that...
Yes, Victor's belt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So he's showing this for Vic now. So that's what I'm talking about.
I don't know, depending on how he does.
You have to cross out. So.
Can we put a magic marker in the
Yeah, exactly. Flag on Victor.
Flag on Victor.
Going to a New England game. What the hell is wrong with him, dude?
And he's not wearing the Giant gear, too.
Not wearing the Giant gear. They're not playing the Giants. Like, playing Cleveland.
I don't know.
That's crazy.
I don't know what's
I guess
wrong.
that's what love will do to you.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, it's a family show. But with that said, let's recap what we saw yesterday in college football. It was a crazy day.
Wow.
A couple upsets. Actually, more than a couple upsets happened yesterday.
Blowouts.
Yeah, we saw a couple top 10 teams both lose. So, let's get right into it. Michigan, Notre Dame. Just a complete blowout. Notre Dame didn't show up to the game, and it was just from the start to the end. It was all Michigan. Dave, what do you have to say about that game?
Man, listen, we fall flat because, you know, Coach Kaki's finally got his big win, right? I mean, it was a tough game to watch. I mean, listen, Michigan did their thing. I mean,
Help them. Help them. It's not in their blood.
It's over.
Listen,
it's over.
Their running game looked pretty good. I think Haskins had 149 yards. You had the other running back scored 2. They threw for 2 in the second half, I believe. So, I mean, listen, they did what they needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, an upset in the standpoint of, I thought we thought it was going to be a close game, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
And listen, the Fighting
Irish
didn't want to fight yesterday.
If there was going to be a blowout, we would have thought it would have been the other side.
But the Fighting Irish didn't show up, man. I mean, they couldn't get anything going. So, very disappointing loss for the Irish, and now obviously they're out of contention for the playoffs.
Well, that's what we're going to ask. Where does Notre Dame go from now, Dre? I mean, this isn't like the NFL where you just tank and you get a top pick. Like, this is a team that was favored to win. They had to win out to make the college playoff. I mean, is the season a waste now, or is it? What do you think is going to happen? Is it done?
Honestly, unfortunately, I think so.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, this isn't the NFL.
This isn't Mets Corner now, man. Get that shit off. Get that shit off. Get that off. But listen.
No, but yeah. Unfortunately, I think it's over.
Yeah,
I think so
too. I mean,
listen. As a Notre Dame fan, I said that they had to win out to get to the college football playoffs. So with that second loss, they're completely eliminated. They don't really have any. They play USC. That's probably their toughest opponent for the rest of the year. But even if they ran out the rest of the way, there's no shot at them making the Final Four. So with that said, their season is done. But one season that's continuing on, LSU. Ooh. LSU beating up on Auburn yesterday.
Wow.
Actually, not really beating up.
Not really beating up. That was a close game.
Well, I'll say this. Watching that game, it was one of those games where Auburn had their shot early. LSU didn't score in the first quarter. It's only the second time that they've won a quarter without a point. So they never go a whole quarter with 0 points. So they had their chance to take the lead, and Auburn took a 3-0 lead. And then from there on, LSU started to slowly get their rhythm. They win the game by 3. Didn't cover, but they won the game by 3. And to them, now they're looking a week ahead to the biggest matchup of the year, number 1 Alabama versus number 2 LSU.
Yeah, to see that.
We have to. That's going to be the game of the year. Everybody's looking at that game because if you lose that game, it may be the game that takes you out of college playoff.
Oh my God,
that's how big it could be. Like, to be number 1 and number 2, two undefeated teams, and one loss could take you out of it. That's how it's supposed to be. Like, you want to see a playoff like that. So. With that said, what do you have coming?
I want to say one thing about that game yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw that hit that Burrows took.
Yeah,
and listen,
jump right back up.
I think that was huge for him to jump right back up.
Yep.
As a leader of that offense, to say, I'm not laying down here. I'm fine.
Yep.
We're still confident. We're still going to win this game. he threw for one. He ran in for another. That was huge.
That was impressed. I'll tell you this. I was very impressed by him yesterday, and that was one of those games where it looked like we may have a special guest, but but that was one of those games where I was very impressed with him because he showed he can move around in the pocket by running the ball, and he scored that rushing touchdown. He took that hit by Davis from Auburn and jumped right back up and said, "Let's get back in there." And we already knew he could throw, so that was the type of game that makes everybody's open their eyes for the NFL. Like that makes you a top 5 type pick. Like he is really up there now, and he has boosted his stock so much.
Yeah, that throw in the corner end zone.
It was across field too.
That's a throw that you say NFL quarterbacks make that throw. He was able to make that throw, but very impressive, man, showing by Burrows, man, and now even more of a say for him to win that Heisman this year. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah. Now we talked quickly about LSU, Alabama in a couple of weeks. Now, Alabama's been the top-notch team every year. No matter, even if they got a loss, they still put them in. They seem to get the benefit of the doubt because of who they are. Right. They have Saban. They've won national championships and everything.
They're the New England.
Exactly. That's exactly what they are. They're New England college football. With that said, do you think a loss by either one of those teams knocks them out, or do you think that either one of those teams could lose and still get in? And if so, which one?
I think that it is more probable that if Bama were to lose, they'll still have a shot compared to LSU. That if LSU were to lose, then their playoff hopes, are pretty much...
I don't know, though. I think if LSU has had such a great season, they've looked...
I'll be upset if they did it. Yeah, I know they may do it.
They jumped from what? What was it, like a week ago, 2 weeks ago?
They were like 6.
They were like 6. They jumped
5
to
or 6,
2.
They jumped to 2.
So I'd like to think that if they did lose, they would have the same... They would have the same showing, that they show for Alabama also, where they still have a possibility of making the playoffs. I think you're right, though. Alabama probably would have, the more likelihood of it. But I'm optimistic and positive that LSU would be given that same.
I agree.
And especially with Oklahoma losing yesterday and an upset, now we have to say, you know what? There's not that many teams. We always said there were 6 teams pretty much that we thought deserved a playoff spot. If LSU loses, I still think they should be able to be in there. Listen, you have LSU, you have Ohio State, you have Alabama, you have Clemson. Those are going to be the main ones in there. And I think that, and pretty much you have, and there's a 5th team also, but the point is you have to play each other. LSU is going to be playing against them, and then Penn State is going to be playing against Ohio State. And that game is going to be later on this year. So you're going to have 2 of those teams lose. So with that said, there's going to be a possibility of 3 undefeated teams. There's going to be a one-loss team in the playoff. Why not let it be LSU? So that's my take on that.
Okay.
So with that said, there was still one more college football game that was big yesterday. Ohio State versus Wisconsin, and
crazy, man.
Wisconsin did not show up for the second straight week.
That was insane. 38-7.
That was bad.
They let me down, man. That defense. That defense was stifling at one point this season.
They fooled us for 6 weeks. That's what they did.
Crazy.
For 6 weeks, they were a top-tier team. They completely beat up everybody for 6 weeks. They destroyed Michigan, and then all of a sudden they lose to Illinois, and now they lose the game yesterday, and they look average in both games. I don't get it. Well, what do you think? Where can Wisconsin go from here? Are they in the same situation as like Notre Dame? Or?
I think so. I actually do think so. I think they're in the exact same situation as Notre Dame. Unfortunately, it's not looking good for them, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And I think as far as did anybody think that Wisconsin had any playoff hopes?
Yeah, they did. Listen, their loss last week to Illinois knocked them down to 13. But before that, they had a shot. They were undefeated. They were number 6 or 7 in the country. And then all of a sudden, the Illinois game knocked them down to 13, which killed most of their hopes, but they still could have won the Big Ten title. They still have another big game later on in the year. Those 2 big ranked teams, they could have pushed them back up. Right. But now we're getting blown out with Ohio State. There's nobody that's going to think they ever have a chance to do it.
I don't think so.
So listen,
but listen, give credit to Ohio State's offense too.
They're doing what they've been doing.
Yeah, and again,
and they finally got their big win.
And they got their
because
big win
they were the New England of the college football. They didn't play anybody this year, but they just beat who was in front of them. Right. And now they finally have a name. They beat the number 13 ranked team. That's the first big ranked team,
and they did it impressive.
And they did. But speaking of impressive, let's quickly go to the World Series recap. On Wednesday, we're sitting there. It's like 2-0. We're like, the series is pretty much over. Like, they beat their top two pitchers. They beat Verlander. They beat Cole. And we're like, yo, the freaking Nats are about to win the World Series.
It's insane.
All of a sudden, the heart of a champion comes out of Houston.
Don't say that too fast.
They come right back and win the next two games in Washington. Like, it's crazy
listen, Houston rose up like Undertaker, like in the middle of the ring. Just rose up and looked at their opponent.
0-2, and your two best pitchers got beat.
I was about to say, when they're two unlikely pitchers to do it in Greinke and a spot starter.
Not even a normal person.
But I mean, supposedly he's going to be one of their starters at the end of the season. So they like his stuff. He just came off of an injury too.
I think that's why you gotta love it.
Yeah,
that's definitely why you gotta love the postseason, man. Because
they always say you can't skip October.
This is what a World Series is all about.
Yeah,
a team going up 2-0,
players stepping up,
and of course, shout out to my brother Heck for letting me know. I didn't realize this, but the last. If you guys know, the last 2-0 team to come back.
Oh, I don't want to hear about. I don't want to hear about one. I don't want to hear about one of them. I already know. I don't want to hear about
the 1986 New York Mets.
And I know the other one. I don't want to hear about that.
Excited.
No one can.
But look,
mention Hector's name ever.
But with that said, now there's a 2-2 series. First, who do you think is going to win the series? And two, do you think it's going to be in 6 or 7 games?
I think it's going to be 7 games, and I'm going to have to say the Nats.
Still in the Nats. Nats win Game 7 in Houston. All right. Well, what do you say, Dave?
Listen, I'm still sticking with my guns. I think the Stros winning in 6 still.
So you think they'll be the third team to do it?
Yeah. Because listen, I'm telling you right now. Like I said before, the Nats have seen Cole in the National League when he played for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to make some adjustments this time around. I think Cole is going to win tonight's game. Yeah. I think he's going to come out and listen. Verlander, he's their horse, man. He's their guy. I think he comes out. He's dominant in Game 6. Yeah. Listen, that offense is rolling right now. You see them doing adjustments. You see them stealing bases now to try to match up what Washington's doing. Soto has kind of for the Nationals, they've been able to equalize him, so he hasn't really caused any damage. He just had his birthday,
21st birthday. Yeah. Maybe he had a little bit too much to drink or something.
So, you see the series changing and shifting. I think, again, the Astros is just too much firepower. As long as you keep Rendon and Soto at bay, I don't think the Nationals have a chance. And I think Scherzer gets hit today. So just to let you know, Scherzer's going to get hit today.
I think tonight's going to be a low. For tonight's game, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think the Astros will win, and I'm going to say the Astros win in 6. Okay. And you already said you think the Astros win tonight. Who wins tonight? Astros or Nats?
I think the Astros win tonight. Actually.
So you think the Astros win tonight, and then the Nats will win Game 6 and 7. Mm-hmm. Whew. To win 4 games in Houston, to sweep them 4-0 in Houston, that would be huge.
I think so. I mean, again, the postseason, man. You can't. Honestly, again, the Nats have impressed me a lot. Again, like didn't they beat them in Houston already? Nats, did they beat Houston in Houston already?
No, they did twice. They won the game. They won Game 1 and 2 in Houston, and then Houston came back and beat Game 3 and 4 in Washington.
I think they'll definitely do it. I'm really comfortable about that. Actually, I think Houston wins tonight, and then from there on out, it's all Nats.
All right, so there's 2. So now let's move on to the NFL because we only got a couple more minutes because we want to get the videos out to everybody and everybody can listen to it. So with that said, there's still 2 undefeated teams and there's still 2 winless teams. The undefeated teams, let's start first with the 49ers. Do the 49ers lose to Carolina?
I don't think so. Listen, 49ers defense, they're probably top 5 this year, so probably in the 1 or 2. Yeah. I think they're going to get at the quarterback. Obviously, he's a rookie. He's looked good. Yeah. But if you look at Carolina and when he took over, he hasn't faced defense like this. Right. So I think they're going to get at him. Listen, nobody's really talking about that Emmanuel Sanders trade, too. So now Garoppolo has another weapon to throw out. Even though I think it's going to be a close game. Yeah, I think it's going to be a close game, and you can't sleep on Carolina's defense, too.
Yes.
I think they've been one of the top defenses in the league.
Yes.
But I still think that the 49ers are going to get at Allen in this one. Listen, that 49ers defense has held their last 3 teams, I think, to 10 points or less. Mm-hmm. So I think they get it done in a close game. So.
What do you think? Carolina 49ers, did they give them their first loss?
No. Listen, I think San Fran wins, but I will say this. Like I said before, I'm on Pete's Corner. There's a lot of records that are deceiving this season, and to me, it doesn't feel like a 6-0 Niners team. To me, that's not too impressive. I'm looking at their record right now.
So you think they do get their first loss?
No.
Oh, you think Carolina?
No, he thinks they're going to win.
No, I think they're going to win, though, but I don't think they're as good as their record is showing, and I don't think they're as good as people are making it out to be. Again, their best win to me on their record is the Rams. Other than that, listen, when you're playing teams like the Browns, Redskins, Pittsburgh, Bengals, and Tampa Bay, yeah, you better be going 6-0. And not to mention, shit, they did almost lose to Pittsburgh. That was the closest game on their schedule, 24-20. But honestly, I think they do squeak it out tonight against the Panthers. But obviously speaking, it would have surprised me if Carolina pulled it off. And if they did pull it off, that to me that would say a lot about San Fran this season.
Listen, I think that Carolina will pull it off. On Pete's Corner, that was my upset pick of the week. I think Carolina has the type of defense and running game that can win against anybody. And McCaffrey's been on fire this year. Their defense has been a top 5 defense this year. So if you're looking at San Fran and Carolina, both of them have top tier defenses, and I just have a little bit more confidence in McCaffrey and they're all something that was really out of nowhere. If you look at DJ Moore's last 16 games, and nobody's been really talking about DJ Moore. If you look at his last 16 games, he's gotten like 1,200 yards. Wow. Like, that's top 10 wide receiver type numbers. And crazy. Nobody's talked about him. Like, you add him as a weapon. Curtis Samuel is playing well. And McCaffrey's doing his thing. I think I'm much more confident in their offense than I am in the 49ers offense.
I agree.
So that's why I'm going to go with the upset that Carolina does give San Fran their first loss of the year.
Carolina definitely does have more weapons, in my opinion, on the offense than San Fran. Who do they have?
San Fran?
Yeah, as far as obviously I know they got Kittle and they got they just acquired Sanders. But
what they do is they run the ball out. That's why they have all their running backs. They have Breida, who has been doing a great job. They have Coleman, who's been doing a good job. And then they have like 2 or 3 other guys behind them that even if they got hurt, they can still fill in. They're the best rushing team in the league this year. They're averaging almost 200 yards per game. Right. So that's how they've been winning games. So the teams are very similar, and that's why I think it's going to be a close game. And I just have more confidence in McCaffrey than I do on the other side. But with that said, the other undefeated team, Victor is there. I don't know if he's going to jinx them and they finally lose. But
we hope you do that.
But the New England Patriots against the Cleveland Browns. What's your take on it, Dre?
There's not. In my opinion,
listen to me. There's nothing to say. Yeah.
There's really nothing to say. Again, listen. The weather might impact it. I don't know how it's looking out there in Foxborough, but it's horrendous right
Great game to go to, Vic.
Way to go. But with that being said, look. Despite of how bad the Browns have been playing, they still have the weapons. And, I'm not big on the Browns. And to me, so far I'm correct as far as them not gelling in and not, playing well. I didn't expect them to early in the season or whatever. But, again, they have the weapons and they could explode at any second. That's a team that you can't sleep on at the end of the day. New England's going to beat them. But, again, I don't know I don't know how the weather's looking at Foxborough. If it's shitty out there, who knows? This could be a really close game. Again, depending on how the weather's looking like. Because we saw what happened. We saw last week against San Fran and Washington. That game was 3-0 the whole time.
They still won, though. They still won,
but a Washington touchdown could have changed that momentum completely. Obviously, the defense showed up. The point I'm trying to make is that if the weather's an issue in Foxborough, this could be a game that Cleveland can't squeak out, again, depending on the weather. Otherwise, I'm rolling with New England all day.
Listen, I don't think the weather's going to have any impact on it at all because I just don't think Cleveland.
I already know where he's going.
Listen, I'm just at the point with Cleveland.
Well, I
was on Cleveland. I fell into love with all their weapons and everything like that, and Baker and Odell and everybody out there.
On paper, it looks good.
And they can still run the ball with Chubb and everything like that, but there's no way that New England's going to let them walk into Foxborough and win that game. Like the bad weather actually probably helps New England because we have Steph Curry. Come on, we're gonna have a Steph Curry moment on the show. There we go. We got a guest. We got a special guest star.
A special guest star.
Yeah, special guest star. Say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
There you go. But really quick, just to get that game out of the way, I think New England's going to win that game. I think it's pretty good, simple. I think the bad weather actually helps New England because they're used to playing in that type of weather. They've had playoff games in those type of weather, and I don't think that's going to bother them. What do you think?
Yeah, I listen. I agree with both of you guys. Listen, New England's home. Listen, they're going to play to their script. They're going to run the ball today. I don't have any confidence, in Baker Mayfield. They're coming off a loss. I know they're coming off a bye also to get rest. But Baker has just looked so inconsistent. I think New England's going to get at him and make him look really, really bad today.
I hope so.
And I have no confidence.
Damn, you hate Browns.
I better hate the Browns.
I was on the bandwagon too, like you, but they haven't shown anything.
No, they haven't.
With the exception of one game where Chubb, ran all over the place. I have no confidence in them. So.
All right. So with that said, we got a couple more topics to get to. We talked about two winless teams. Miami beats Pittsburgh. I don't even got to ask you. I already know what you're saying. Pittsburgh versus Miami. If you watch Pete's Corner, we already know you think they're going to beat them by more than 14.
Well, there's a point that I wanted to throw in there that I didn't want to drag out on Pete's Corner. But which one? This goes back to last season.
Those are going to cut the flag if you drag it out here.
No. Watch this. So
get it ready.
So last season, I remember when Pittsburgh Steelers were an underdog traveling to Tampa Bay to face Fitzpatrick.
I remember that game.
And they were actually an underdog in that game. Why?
They got like 50 interceptions that game.
Yeah, because Tampa Bay were on a hot roll early in the season. Now, yes, Fitzpatrick does play really well whenever he's hot. He was in a better system in Tampa Bay. Listen, he was in a better system at Tampa Bay. Now, obviously, in the last better system in Miami on the road against Pittsburgh, that obviously has a way better defense than it did last year.
So you're saying Fitzpatrick will be seeing ghosts?
Fitzpatrick is going to be seeing ghosts. Yes. Minka Fitzpatrick's going to have more touchdowns than Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Get out of here. What do you think about that game?
Yeah, listen, I got Pittsburgh in this game coming up. Their defenses look, better as of late. They're getting Mason Rudolph back in this game.
Yeah.
If you see, I think statistics, I think Pittsburgh's 6-0 against Fitzpatrick. I think.
Not only that, though, they're like 14-0, like on Monday night.
So I'm not convinced in Fitzpatrick, even though Miami has they looked better last week. They're looking better as of late. So, but I'm still going with Pittsburgh on this.
And by the way, guys, if you guys, in some of your leagues, pick up Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh's defense.
I actually agree with that.
They're second in takeaways and like fifth in sacks. So.
Exactly. So look, I'm not saying that whatever, but any team that plays Miami, you want to pick them up, no matter what.
No matter what. There's, like I said, there's Washington, there's Miami, the Bengals. Those are the teams that you want to play defense against. But, I ain't gonna say. I said pick defenses. I ain't say offense. I said defense. All right. So the other winless team, the Cincinnati Bengals, they're going against the Rams this week. Do they finally get their first win, or do the Rams just kick them out again?
Rams roll in this game.
Yeah, I actually because we want to get to this real quick. I agree with that. I think the Rams beat the Bengals. I think it'll be a pretty good blowout. I don't see it. I don't see any way that the Bengals can win. Do you?
No. Yeah. Unless AJ Green, steps on the field today, which he's not.
He steps on the field to break his ankle again. He gets hurt all the time. It's ridiculous.
Listen, the Rams coming off a win last week against the Falcons.
Exactly.
They look good. I think their confidence is back up. So I think that it's a blowout win today also. So I agree with you guys.
All right. So with that said, let's move on to the game of the week. Woo. Green Bay versus KC. Even though it should be bigger because Mahomes would have been playing, but he really got hurt.
Lambeau Field, right? Lambeau?
Giants game is not the game of the week?
No, it's not a game of the week.
Lambeau Field, right?
So,
I thought
Lambeau Field. No, that game's in KC.
It's in KC?
That game's in KC, right?
No, I thought it was
in Kansas City. It's in Kansas City.
Yeah, it's in KC, yeah.
Okay.
So that game's KC, so that gives them a little boost to Matt Moore and see what he can do on his home debut for that crowd and for this first start. And I just think that this game is going to be high scoring. Oh, yeah. But it's going to be but I think it's going to be a defensive play that ends this game by Green Bay. I think Green Bay wins this game within a touchdown. So I think it'll be close. Probably 4-point game. I think Green Bay wins that game. Rodgers is probably going to find a way to throw for 2 or 3 touchdowns. He's not going to have the 6-touchdown game as last week, but I think he's going to have a good game. And I think the Chiefs are going to put up a fight, but I just don't think they can open the offense enough to keep up with Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers.
Especially with Patty Mahomes out, I mean, that's a really big piece that's missing on the offense.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure Matt Moore's going to look, he's going to make some plays tonight, though. But when you're going up against Aaron Rodgers, like you said, if it's a shootout, I mean, you can't go in a shootout with Aaron Rodgers. At least I don't feel comfortable, siding with Matt Moore. At least not in this one. Again, not to discredit him, but you're going up against like the GOAT.
Yeah, the best quarterback in the league. Yeah. So, what do you think? Do you think that Green Bay is going to pull this one away, or do you think this will be the KC Matt Moore show?
Yeah. So, listen, I agree with you on who's going to win Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to be a close game. I think Green Bay is going to win by more than a touchdown.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, listen, Matt Moore, he's shown that he can manage this offense. But he's more of a game manager.
Mm-hmm.
You need a game changer to go toe to toe with Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
So and I just think Aaron Rodgers, man, he's got that offense flowing. I mean, he's spreading the ball. They're doing everything.
It's that time of the season too,
where they got a
starting to get a rhythm.
They got a two-headed monster, at the running back position. Yeah. I mean, both of those running
Jones
backs
and Williams
can catch the ball, can rush.
A lot of good play action.
The only thing he's missing, he still is missing Devontae Adams this week. So it's another week without him.
It doesn't really matter. He spreads the ball, so you see his relationship with MVS. I mean, he's getting him the ball also, and I don't see. I see by at least 7-10 points probably.
All right, so let's send it off with Dave. Tell me the game that you want to see the most this week.
The game that I want to see most this week. I was looking at it, and I think I'm going to go with the Eagles versus the Bills.
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
Listen,
that's a very interesting game.
Obviously,
interesting, yeah.
Eagles 3-4.
Mm-hmm.
Are they pretenders? Are they contenders?
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing you could say about the Bills. They're 6-1. Have they played a good defense this year? One good defense, I think. So, listen, are they pretenders? Are they contenders?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good matchup of this week. So I want to see who's for real, who's not. And I think it should be a great game.
Yeah, it's one of those games that you're definitely going to see if somebody is for real or not. What do you think, Dre? What's your game of the week?
My game of the week, man, I'm going with the 49ers of Carolina, man. This is a really, really, really good game. It's going to be a fun game to watch. Very low scoring, like Pete said, defensive game. Carolina's high right now. And we're about to find out if San Francisco's, in my opinion, legit or not. Again, their record doesn't say nothing to me, but if they do beat Carolina, to me that'll be their best win of their record, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. And my game that I'm most interested in, I'm actually going to agree with you. I want to see that San Fran Carolina game. That's going to be an old school game. It's going to be defense, running the football. You got to come up with a big play late to win the game. I personally have been picking Carolina. I know that people are going to be a lot of people. Both of you guys pick San Fran. I just think this is one of those 50-50 games that two similar teams that either one can win. And with that said, that's the end of our show this week. We want to say thank you to our special guest.
They said thank you. Bye. What do you say? What do you say?
Say hi.
Say hi.
Hi.
There you go.
Say great show, guys.
Great show.
Say great show, guys.
She don't think it was a great show.
Great show, guys.
There you go. All right. Now that's it. That's the biggest 5-star rating we could get.
Guys, how can you dislike this video?
Yeah, exactly. If you dislike this video,
you guys got issues.
We told you it was a family show. That's what we said. But we will catch you from Wednesdays from Bogies. Go subscribe. Go like everything on YouTube, iHeart, Spreaker, Spotify,
subscribe,
iHeartRadio.
Tell your family, tell your friends.
Subscribe. Give us a 5-star rating. Like everything, and we'll catch you back at Bogies on Wednesday. Peace.
Órale, mi gente. We love you. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.